Zach, I have something to tell you. This podcast has broken me.
Oh, really?
The last month has been very hard.
Oh.
And I am truly broken. I am dead on the inside. Fresh was good, but everything else, I mean, honestly, what are we doing?
What do you mean, Sandro? This week's movie was great.
You don't.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You're saying that ironically.
No.
Aren't you?
No.
You're not?
I genuinely enjoyed it this week. I enjoyed the movie.
No way.
I had fun with this movie.
You're kidding me.
I love this movie.
Oh, no.
Yep. So we're going to have a fun time because you didn't and I did.
So dead on the inside. Hello and welcome to Oldie but a Goodie.
The show where Zach's alive and Sandra was dead.
We look at everything that came out this week back in 1994. We choose one, we review it. Full synopsis review, so watch out. We're spoiling it all. This week it's Timecop. My name is Sanjo and that's Zach. Hello and welcome, I'm dead.
What do you mean I'm Jean-Claude Van Damme? Yes.
You like Timecop?
Yes, I genuinely enjoyed Timecop. Not because it was a good movie.
No.
But it was an enjoyable movie.
I was, you know that feeling when you're watching a movie and you just kind of zone out?
Yep.
That was me for all of this.
Yeah.
I was just numb. I haven't felt this numb since I saw Green Lantern in the cinema.
I had similar reactions, but enjoyed it. I zoned out, but I enjoyed the zoning out of like,
that's fair.
Wow, this is terrible, yet amazing at the same time.
Well, this film does have a cult following, so...
Yep.
Anyway.
I am part of that cult following.
Let's jump into Timecop, because this is probably going to be a long episode.
Nice.
Released September 16th. It's directed by Peter Hyams. He did a movie in 1977 called Capricorn 1, which was a big hit. He's also worked with Harrison Ford on a romantic drama.
Nice.
And also directed the forgotten sequel to 2001 Space Odyssey. Ooh. 2010, the year we made contact.
Wow.
I always forget that movie exists, but it does.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But
I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know.
This movie is an adaptation of a 3-part comic book series called Timecop from 1994.
Yep, this seems like a comic book movie.
Definitely. The book and the movie were written by Mike Richardson, who is the founder of Dark Horse Comics. Ooh. So good on him. It was written by him and Mark Verheiden, who worked on a TV show called Falling Skies. Do you remember that? I think I showed it to you.
Yeah, you
I was really into it for like 3 seasons, and then season 4 was atrocious, so I stopped watching.
Right, well, yeah.
Did it end well? Is season 5 good? I don't know. If you've seen it, let me know. I won't watch it, but I want to know. Did it end well?
Down below. We'll look at them and we'll go, that is...
There we go. I'm glad I stopped watching.
Yeah. Wow, you're being very presumptuous there. But probably not wrong.
He also helped write The Mask, though. So that's cool. And
one of my personal favourites.
Compared to all the stuff I've done recently, it was good.
Yep.
Jean-Claude Van
Don't
Damme.
worry, everyone knows of your hatred of The Mask.
The Mask is, Jean-Claude Van Damme, he plays Max Walker. Critics say this is his best performance ever.
Really? Wow.
Goes to show.
I mean, I thought he was pretty good.
No.
I thought he played the stiff man real well.
As an actor, he's like pretty much just Schwarzenegger, but a less jokey, I think.
He's like a combination between Schwarzenegger and Hasselhoff.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is.
Yes.
Yes.
If you combined those two together, you would get him perfectly.
I was going to bring this up during the synopsis, but one thing I didn't like, and this is the main reason why I couldn't get into this film at all.
Yep.
Despite the story not being great, the action sequences itself, he never feels like he could lose. It always felt like he's never in a position where he's not on top of the situation.
Well, I don't know. The climax, I feel like there was a lot of things like... Spoiler. I mean, we've already said we're going to spoil it, but like... He could lose his wife. It was more like he could lose his wife again.
His wife was in danger, not necessarily him.
Yeah. It's not necessarily him that's at stake. It's the other people at stake that are the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the recent conversation about like Hobbs and Shaw, in which it was revealed that like they have to get an equal amount of punches
Yes.
and they can never lose a fight. If they fight amongst themselves, it always ends in a stalemate.
Yep.
Neither of them bleed from the nose, and all these stupid terms and like
Yep.
for actors doing an action movie.
Yep.
It felt like that was a part of this because there's
Yep.
never really a point when I went, he's in danger. It was always like, oh yeah, he's gonna win.
Well, his past self could have been in danger.
That is
as well.
true. His past self could have been in danger, but
Because
anyway.
his past self was garbage. Get him out of here.
What did you think of Mia Sarah, who plays his wife Melissa, and she's from Ferris Bueller? Was she good?
Well, she doesn't really have too much time. She has at the start of the film and at the end of the film. But I thought she was pretty reasonable, honestly.
I thought she was actually alright.
Yeah, I thought she was alright. You mentioned that you didn't like their chemistry.
They had no chemistry,
wrong.
but she was a good actress.
You're wrong. He's a stiff brick of a person, and she's trying to mine into that brick. And I
guess
feel like that was
so.
portrayed.
But it was just enough to make me go, I don't know. Like, I didn't believe for a second that they were together.
Sure, I feel like you, by the end of the film,
We're
were so
done? Yes, that is also completely correct.
that it has affected your bias for them. I thought they were perfectly okay.
This is the intersection of action movies.
Wow.
Nah,
Wow.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
No, it is. Bruce McGill plays the commander of the Time Travel Agency.
thought he was good.
He is good. He's from Star Trek Voyager. I really like him in
there
that.
you go.
And the best actor in this movie, in my opinion, was Gloria Rubin, who plays Agent Fielding. Her storyline made no sense.
Not at all.
But she
Not
was a
in
good
the-
actress.
No, the best thing was how this movie made no sense whatsoever. And I loved it. I loved it. I could have gone. I feel like I could have gone down a road where I'm in your box and I hated this film, but I just chose a different road.
You
I
just decided
chose
to be on board.
enjoy this film.
Reception was very mixed. 45% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it did become a cult classic. So there
okay.
we go.
All
It
right.
cost... Oh boy. Alright, here we go. The box office. It cost them $27 million to make.
27 million. Okay, that's pretty decent. Like
Well,
they had those,
yeah.
those ship car things.
I think
and stuff.
the visual effects were pretty
The
cool.
visual effects. The CGI was like old CGI, but it was pretty good.
It was good old CGI.
It was
yeah.
pretty good CGI.
It was weird, but it was like...
Yeah,
I don't mind this.
They didn't use it too much.
No.
They used it 3 memorable times.
Yes.
Oh, and the time travel bits, I guess.
The time travel
It was the
cool.
ripples.
The time travel set was pretty cool.
Yeah, and the ripple effect was actually pretty good.
I liked it
for
as well.
for CGI,
Yeah.
especially back then. The like blown off arm and the bad guy death were very very CGI, but
Funny.
but they
Oh
were-
yeah,
they
no,
were
the
very-
bad guy death was hilarious.
Yeah, the bad guy death was
That
great.
was the one moment when I was on board. I was like, this is amazing.
It was great. That's what I'm saying. You should. That the whole movie's like that, Sandra. How are you not on board?
Oh, that's so true. Anyway, yeah, so what do you think of it made?
30.
No, go up.
Oh, it goes up. Oh, thank goodness. Let's go 100 mil.
Yes!
Yeah. Oh, I did it. 100 mil. Yes.
This film made $100 million!
Woo. Time
It's
cop.
the highest grossing Van Damme movie of all time.
Damn. This film's great. I'm going to
100
recommend this to
million
all my friends.
Everyone saw this and they didn't see Fresh. I'm just like, that could have all gone to Fresh and then
That
we
could
would
have.
be getting good.
But then we wouldn't have Timecop, the greatest film of all time.
Anyway, should we just... We've already spent a lot of time on this opening, which is...
Yeah, let's go.
What did you think of the opening fonts?
Opening fonts, yes, I did want to mention this. Very speed action film.
Very speed.
I liked it. I like me a good cheesy font.
Yeah.
You
I liked it as well. I actually quite like the font.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right, you were with
The
the
music was good as well. It just...
Yeah.
The credits went on for ages, but the font and the music was really good. I liked it.
Yeah. The music of this film, I liked.
Yeah, it's good.
I like the music.
I liked it as well. Very, very cheesy, but very fun.
Oh, yeah.
It opens on a rainy forest in the year 1863.
Yeah.
And a dude robs a convoy who are transporting gold bullions to their base to help them win the American Civil War.
Yep. He chats with them for a bit,
Yeah.
demanding the gold. They're like, no. And then he pulls out 2 laser machine
From
guns.
the future.
Yep. And blasts them all to dead.
I liked how his sights were turned on for no reason.
Yeah. No, well, all the future guns, like the automatic laser rifles, all of them had their sights on.
Yeah.
All of them did.
That's true. That is true.
And the pistols had that weird sort of square, like, cross in the middle of them sort of thing. They were weird, like, sort of square guns that shot the lasers.
The gun designs were pretty good. I didn't like the futuristic cars and everything, because that was just
Oh,
weird.
yeah, well, it was old futuristic cars. There is a point during this film where this film got it very right for the future.
What was that?
But I don't know, we'll get to it.
Okay. And then it cuts to present day in that it's 1994.
Yes.
And this whole scene went on for ages. It's basically a board meeting, and this guy is trying to get funding for a task agency to make sure nothing bad happens in time travel.
Yep.
Because it's been created. Time travel has been created by this dude who works for the US government.
Yeah. This just happens.
Yeah.
Time travel, that's a thing. US government can do it.
And then they're like, do we have the funding? And the guy's like, yes, we do.
Yeah, one of the senators there, Mr. What's his name?
I don't know.
Macomb, that's the one. He's there, and he's on board for this Timecop shenanigans
He's
happening.
like, oh, I do like this. Beam me up, Scotty. The rules for time travel are interesting because they can travel to the past, can't travel to the future because it hasn't been written yet.
So what I think that means is the people's atoms, when they travel back in time, they can travel back in time because the atoms have already been there. But they can't move the atoms forward. That's my theory.
I can see how that works.
Because the atoms haven't already been there before. Yep.
And turns out the intro during the Civil War, the guy who robbed them works for some evil senator who is using it to fund their own time travel thing. And that's why they've got to make their own bureau to protect the world from people who will destroy time.
Yes, because they find out that they've picked up gold being traded in Pakistan or something.
How did these people get their hands on time travel? Considering that it was made specifically by the US government, we'll never know.
We'll never know. It's definitely not like one of the US senators named Combe who's secretly using the prototype that was never disabled.
Doesn't entirely add up either.
Oh, no, it doesn't at all. It doesn't at all. This whole time thing, like, they're playing with time as a thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out poorly.
Yeah.
It's a big old bag of worms.
Oh, well. The introduction for Van Damme was kind of funny.
Yes.
Because he just stops a kid on, like, rollerblades.
Yeah. He meets up with his wife, then leaves his wife for a second to go stop someone from stealing a handbag. But, like, the guy's on roller skates. It's the weirdest dude.
It's very weird. And then there's also some guy looking down from one of the top levels, and he's got a mullet. And I wrote down, evil mullet man!
There was 2 mullet men.
There are 2 mullet men, yes.
2 mullet men were watching them, and he's like, oh, they look weird. He looks back again. They're gone. Bum, bum, bum.
Mullets. I love mullets.
Mullets.
Mullets are so good. Mullets are back, baby!
Yeah. And to defeat the mullet, you must embrace the mullet.
Ooh.
As he does, because 10 years later, he has a mullet.
Do you remember the part in Men in Black International, which I just watched and it's bad?
Yeah.
The scene where there's the beard alien?
Yes.
Mullet alien.
Yes, mullet alien.
He's talking to his wife
back
about...
to the past.
Yeah, he's talking to his wife about being like, hey, I want to get this time travel job that I was just offered. Except he doesn't say time travel because he won't let her know.
Yeah.
And she's like, you should take it. Then there's a sex scene, and it is honestly the funniest sex scene I think I've ever seen.
I was like, wow, okay.
It's so stupid. This is the reason it's rated MA in Australia.
Yep.
Is for this scene.
Yep.
They tried to, like, replicate the Terminator one.
That is,
I was cracking up the whole time.
Yeah, it was funny.
And then I also wrote down his name is Max Walker. Wow.
Yep.
So,
that is him.
yeah. She wants to tell him that she's pregnant. And it's just a funny scene. Again, it's just really bad.
This is why I enjoyed the film, Sandro. How could you hate this film?
She's like, I've got something to tell you.
I wonder if it's you're pregnant. Was my first thought.
Yeah, no, same. It
which
was
is
just
everyone's
like,
in the audience first thought.
They try to use it as a twist later, but obviously we all know it. So.
Yeah, obviously. And she's about to tell him, but the phone rings, and he's got to answer the phone, and she's like, "Don't answer the phone." Why she doesn't want him to answer the phone?
Because she's got to tell him the news.
Why can't she wait 5 seconds for him to? Because she's gonna die soon. Obviously.
What?
He answers the call, and he's being called in right there, right now, and so he's like, "Oh, I gotta go." Yeah. And she's like, "Man, this isn't the way I wanted things to go tonight." And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll be back. I'm sure you won't die in the meantime."
Rip. He walks outside and gets clubbed and falls over, and then she dies in a house explosion.
Yep. He gets shot as well.
He does also get shot. But he's got a bulletproof vest.
Yes.
Whoa, they definitely won't use this fake out 3 times again in the film.
What?
Whoa.
What? No, they don't.
This whole fight sequence, just reminded me of Brain Scan.
Why?
Because it's very dark.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's like at nighttime and it's raining.
And it's very
dark.
unpleasant to watch because no one's acting well and it's just like, what's going on?
You mean it was great because it was his arc of sadness and despair as he watches his wife dying.
Very gothy.
Large explosion.
I couldn't take it seriously because of the large explosion. If she just died, I would have been like, oh,
Sandro,
that's sad.
You're not supposed to take this movie seriously, Sandro. You're taking this far too seriously. This movie, you're treating it like a serious action film, but you got to come into it as a comedy action film. And then it's the best.
He kicks a lot of people, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he kicks everyone. And then... That's funny because he kicks everyone.
He kicks so many people.
But then his wife dies, so
kaboom.
We flash 10 years later.
The year is 2004.
Yep.
The future.
The future.
Future. And then he travels back now. Inconsistency right here. In my movie universe. Because, of course, every movie released in 94 exists in the same universe.
Yes, of course.
In my mind. He travels back to 1929, Wall Street. Someone is like, oh, the stocks are down. Shit happens. Which we know wouldn't have been a saying around here because of Forrest Gump.
Yes, but this guy is from the future, Sandro.
Oh, you are right.
Yeah, bam.
Wasn't it the
No, it was the guy from the future.
It was the guy from the future.
So, bam, inconsistency solved.
Oh, that's what we do here.
He just used a phrase from the future, which is a naughty.
Naughty.
But he is from the future.
He is an investor from the future, and Van Damme appears and is like, hey, you can't be using future newspapers to get money.
He tries to, shoot him. Van Damme has none of that, and he kicks him.
He does some splits and some kicks.
And the guy is like, I don't want to go back. If I go back and blab, they'll kill my family.
Yeah, he's like, who do you work for? Who are you getting money for? And he's like, I'm not going to tell you.
So he jumps out the window. And then George Van Damme, he jumps out after him.
Yes, he jumps out the window. They travel to 2004.
Yep,
and then he gets sentenced to death.
Yes.
And then he's back out the window.
Yeah, which I thought was a great, way of soul. It kills 2 birds with 1 stone. The inconsistency in the past.
That's true.
And the guy. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yes. Do you want to do the line that the guy says when he splats on the ground?
Right, yeah. When the at first, there's an inconsistency because they disappear midair, and the guy and the local cop's like, Mother of Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, and he does the little cross. But then he appears again, so it fixes the timeline, so that never happened.
Yeah.
And the guy, of course, he dies because he falls out the window, and the cop goes, "Poor bastard. Tomorrow might have been a brighter day."
It felt like a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah, it was great. Tomorrow might have been a brighter day.
I did, that was
great.
good. I wrote down, this is so boring. I can't remember why. But
I think he was just bored. But I love this. So then he's back at I think the office.
Oh yeah, no, this is why I wrote it down.
Yep.
Because McComb, who is running for president,
Yep.
he shows up to get a tour of the facility.
Oh right, yeah.
And I love this, right? So just picture in your head the most blandest military underground facility you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's like the set of Doctor Who from the 70s.
Yeah.
It's just bland black walls
that's
and
the point.
a lot of computers. The reason why they say it's not a flashy government facility like we see in stuff nowadays is because, and I quote, "We spared no expense on the computers."
Yep. yeah, it's great. And then he says, there's no creature comforts, no nothing.
Yeah.
They spent all their money on the expensive equipment.
It's more
and
that they
stuff.
spent all the money on the special visual effects in the movie.
Yep, correct.
That's why.
I was enjoying it. And then they have their intense discussion where because George Van Damme, he knows that McCann is the bad guy.
Yeah, he does.
And the bad guy now knows.
How does he know that?
Because the guy blabbed at him before he died.
did. He told him.
Yeah.
But he didn't say
Yeah,
it
but he
on
didn't
the
want to
record.
confess because he wanted his family to live.
Yeah, that's right.
So he refused to confess or testify or anything.
about
But
that.
he did tell Van Damme
Yeah.
that it was McCone.
Van Damme gets in his car.
Yep.
What a car design.
Yeah, it was the classic, like, 90s, 80s future car design
Yeah.
that was, like, looks like a jet cockpit.
But
with-
also just a box.
Yes, in a box.
Yeah.
And that's the vehicle. Then he goes home.
His TV is just a widescreen.
Yeah, it's
He
just a
can't
widescreen.
watch anything that's not a very specific movie.
Yeah, well,
on that.
well,
aspect
maybe
ratio.
it's a widescreen specifically to watch the old tapes he has. Because he's using the old tapes of his wife and him. He
I don't want to
set
live
it
in a
up-
future where widescreen's the only option.
No! It's not the only option, but it's the one he chose so he could watch his own
What
films.
an idiot.
Yes, well, he is an idiot. He is an idiot, Sandro. We know this for a fact.
But yeah, he's watching home videos, and he's obviously watched it so often that he is saying the exact sentences, the exact lines that he said back when he filmed it.
Well, yeah, it's the whole, I miss my wife.
Yeah,
I'm so dark and brooding. I'm also getting wasted as well.
he does do that.
Which won't really come
Shots.
back because I'll be just like I don't suffer from hangovers.
Yeah, that was something that I wrote down.
Yeah, that was the thing. Then he wakes up in the morning just in time to dodge a pair of super laser launched taser bolts
that was true. That
as
happens.
a bunch of assassins are sent after him by McCone.
Then he kicks them all.
Not suffering from his hangover.
No.
Because he drinks
Again,
egg yolks.
it never feels like he's in danger of losing. Yeah.
What's an action he's not supposed to...
The best action films, though, are the ones like Die Hard, where it feels like he could die at any moment. I feel like those are the best action films.
Uh-huh. You thought that he was going to die at any moment?
He goes through hell.
Yeah.
He is out of his element. He is constantly, like, just getting ripped apart.
That's fair.
Getting cuts.
Hey,
And
I'm not saying Timecop's as good as that.
No.
But it is a cheesy action film, and he's
Yeah.
defeating bad
I
guys.
do like cheesy action films, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know why this didn't do this. Didn't do that.
I'm
glad
he
it
has
did
this
for you,
funny
though.
scene. He
I'm
uses
glad
some
you could
knives.
have an enjoyment out of
Yeah, I got lots of enjoyment.
This
You're
shows.
wrong, Sandro. You're bad.
Oh, got
Got him. Then he has a battle with this guy. There was a knocked over water cooler,
Yeah.
which spills water over the ground, which the bad guy does not notice because he's a dum-dum. And then he tries to electrocute Van Damme, and Van Damme jumps up and does a splits on the counter to stand on the counter while the bad guy gets electrocuted by his own taser. Ha! Take that, dummy bad guy.
Then Agent Fielding shows up and she sees the bad guy and says, "He's under arrest. They're all under arrest. Arrest him for assault, attempted murder, and making a mess."
Yep. Which is fair. They did all of those.
They did do him.
And so then he goes into work, as you do after you've just been attempted to be assassinated.
And she's like, oh, I'm on your case. I'm going to help you out. And he's like, no, I'm a gruff dude and my wife is dead. I refuse to get help. So what he does is he literally slams the door right in her face.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah. It was great. I loved it. When she tried to get in, he just closed the door on her again.
No, that was kind of funny. Yeah.
Come on.
I guess it was.
Come on, Sandra. Come on. You know you want to like it, Sandra. Come on. Come on. Like the movie, Sandra.
The commander of the base is like, well, looks like we've got to get some help from a tech dude. So they go to the tech dude, and what is he doing?
So the tech dude, this, Sandro, is the most realistic part of the bit they predicted about the future, which was 100% correct.
This is true.
We get a scene of a less than clothed lady dancing in the bedroom, and it's revealed that a nerd is using a VR headset to watch porn while at work as well. Which is not great work ethic.
He's also got he's also got just like posters of naked women all over his desk, just everywhere.
It's just hilarious. This is my favorite character. I loved him. He was great. I loved how in an alternate reality he's a very serious like business geek.
That's true. That was kind of funny.
In the bad alternative reality, which was kind of funny.
He's a good dude. So he's like, yes, we can help you stop McComb by sending you back to the past.
Yep.
The way they travel through time I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, this is a big thing that they do, which is they all get set up and the two of them, Van Damme and the other lady...
Fielding,
they hop in this like space shuttle looking thing with like a giant jet engine on the back.
Yep.
It's this big facility with lots of like wires and computers and stuff.
Kind of like a Star Trek set.
It's
not Star
very
Trek.
Stargate.
Yeah.
It's very Stargate where they have this long track that leads to a sort of gate-looking thing.
Yes. There's a wall, and the car will slam into the wall, and by the time you slam into the wall, you should be in the past.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't work.
But sometimes, if you're too nervous, it doesn't work, and you end up as a red smear on the wall.
That was,
Yeah, that was funny, as she's freaking out at this point, because it's her first time traveling back in time, whereas Jean-Claude is a step away from falling asleep. He's so bored.
And that was me.
That was great. I love the scene.
It was kind of funny. I don't know if it's like... I kind of laughed at how fast the countdown was.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we're counting down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this was the robot voice counting down. Just so fast.
Yeah. It's great.
Like, what's going on?
It's great. Anyway. And then the nerd activates the machine by using his famous line, "Are we gonna blast to the past? Yeehaw!"
Oh, man.
This is great. I loved it. As the machine just activates his jets and it goes at extreme speeds and there's a tense moment where, maybe they're going to crash into the wall. Of course they don't.
No.
And they are shunted out into a lake.
Yes.
And Van Damme's like, God damn it, nerd. Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
You dummy. You put us in a bad location.
They go to an abandoned warehouse. Whoa, what a unique idea.
It's this manufacturing plant for this chip.
Yes.
That's been bought out by McCain. And McCain's about to sell it.
Yes.
Because he doesn't have any faith in this old chip. Because the market's down for chips.
This is 1994 McCain, not current evil cinematic
it's a little hard to follow unless you're watching the movie. But it's 1994.
It's hard to follow when you're watching the movie.
Yes, correct. And so the present McCain of 1994, he's talking with the nerd guy, and the nerd guy's, no, this is going to be revolutionary. Turns out the nerd was right.
Yes.
And the future McCain time travels in that moment in that thing.
It's a pretty solid effect as well.
Yeah. I like the ripple effect.
Yeah, it was good.
Because it's like a time ripple.
Wow, yeah. That was good.
And he appears and he's like, "Hey, old me." And his old me's like, "Oh, please don't hurt me." And he's like, "Man, I remember having more balls."
I did write that down. That was funny.
It was great.
Never interrupt me when I'm talking to myself.
He slaps one of the goons.
The scene where future self and past self of him were in the same frame didn't look very good, and I couldn't place why it didn't look good. I think the lighting was off because
I really notice.
Like whenever they were in the same frame, one half was in darkness and one half was in light.
I did not notice any of this.
It just took me out for like a second.
I didn't notice any of that.
That's why I wasn't following the plot as much, because I was just distracted being like, why does this look weird?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure that out instead of actually following what was going on.
It's possible that they took 2 shots with the same actor in 2 different positions when the lighting was different.
They almost definitely did that.
But,
oh well.
But I didn't notice it literally at all, so I will have to go back and have a look at it to just see what you're talking about. Anyway, Van Damme then is like, "Yo, put your hands up."
No, he
idiots.
doesn't say that. He doesn't say that.
What
he
does he
says
say?
freeze. And McComb is like, Agent Walker, do you know how inappropriate that word is? Do I look frozen to you? And Van Damme,
what?
The quick thinker that he is, says, no, you look like crap to me.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, they confront each other.
Yeah, this is the line I didn't understand. It's like, do I look frozen to you? I was very confused.
You can't say freeze. That's inappropriate. Am I frozen? No.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one. I honestly didn't understand that line. I like the crap line though.
Yeah. You look like crap. Anyway.
So then the lady comes around and is like, "Yep, but I'm going to point a gun at you."
Yep.
While he's walking down.
For absolutely no reason.
Well, no, this is the portrayal. This is like she's pointing the gun at the bad guys.
It's such a dumb portrayal.
Oh, yeah, but then he comes down and he talks with them for a bit, and then it's revealed that she's actually on the bad guy's side, and she points the gun at him and is like, "Haha, idiot."
Yeah, I was on my point at this point. I was done. I was just like making notes and...
This was really hilarious.
I was just like, okay.
I love this. There's a great scene because they're all fighting now, panicking, running around. There's a big fight scene where he's fighting one of the bad guys and like hits the side of a container, which explodes out this like nitrogen gas or whatever.
This was a cool scene, yeah.
And blows off the guy's arm.
Yes.
And you just see CGI. It's quite obvious it's CGI.
Very obvious.
But it's like fake. Has this guy's blown off arm and he's like,
it's not just his arm, it's like a bit of his chest as well.
Yeah, a bit of his chest,
he
and
just
it just
snaps
leaves
it
like
off. That was a cool
because he smashed his arm. Yeah, that was crazy.
That was actually pretty well done for the time.
And then he knocks him over into like the construction line of these chips and stuff.
So, future McComb gives Fast McComb a bunch of like instructions to how he should run his campaign.
Oh, idiot! You gotta run fast. Oh wait, I called you an idiot, but I'm the idiot.
What am I doing?
Not a quote.
So Van Damme then travels back to 2004, the future.
Yep.
And the time travel place is being dismantled because McComb's won the election.
Yes, because he's now in the past gained this company that earned him a lot of money. In the future, he's flipped the election around because he has all this money. And he's bought out the time people and is shutting them down.
So Van Damme's plan to save the world is Fielding. She may have betrayed me, but she knows for a fact that McComb is a bad bloke.
Yes,
so in
this fight scene gets betrayed by McComb and gets shot.
She does get shot by him.
So she's like, "Oh crap! I shouldn't have signed up with you. Whoops." So that's why he's like, she'll probably be able to help me.
So he travels back to 94, and the place he arrives at is on a highway right as a truck is about to run him over.
Oh, yeah.
And so he has to dive to the ground.
Yeah, bad place to appear.
And it looks bad as well. It looks really bad. The effect was kind of weird. but kind of funny. I
Yeah.
can see why you'd enjoy it.
He uses his weird device that we never get an explanation of.
No.
That he used once before to like discover where he was in time, and then track the local hospital. I guess it's just a historical device, or just
That
a
would make
data bank
sense.
of
Yeah, like a data bank of stuff from
that
the
from the past, which would make sense.
That's cool.
And then he looks up the local hospital to find her name, and it appears up.
And she agrees to testify, but because chances are she won't be able to go back to the future, they need to get
awful.
proof that she existed.
Yep.
And so he gets a blood sample from her, and when he goes into the room where they keep all the blood samples to get Fielding's blood sample, there's a blood sample for his wife that reveals that she's pregnant.
Whoa! And he's like, oh, my wife was pregnant the whole time. No.
So yep, that's
because he never figured that out for some reason.
what an idiot.
And he goes back to the lady, but the lady's dead.
Oh no!
Because she's been injected with drugs by the two mullet dudes.
The two
mullet
dudes
bad
are back.
guys. So he escapes, goes to the mall where he meets his wife.
Yeah, he goes to talk to his wife, and she's like, "Get away from me!" But he's like, "No, I'm a action hero, so you better stay here. I'll make sure you don't leave." And she's like, "Fine. Wait, you're my husband, but you look different."
Yes,
And
and
he's
he's,
like,
I'm from the future. You must not tell me in the past.
Mm.
And so she's like, okay.
And then he's like, "Make sure you tell past me about the baby." And she's like,
Yeah.
Right.
What? How did you know?
And he's like, "I'm from the future. We've got so many kids and we're so happy, and you're
Yes.
definitely not
Not
dead."
dead. Not dead at all. So she goes about her day as normal. Oh, he pushovers the guy who
The roller skates,
Yeah,
yeah.
the roller skate guy who robbed it at the start of the film, which I thought was funny. This is for what you're going to do. Pushes him.
He pushes him into like a bag of like Smith chips.
Yeah. I
And it
thought
was
that
like
was funny.
product placement.
Yeah, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Then
Then that evening at their old house.
future Van Damme shows up to fight the bad guys that show up there,
Yeah.
and they do.
Yeah. And he bashes them up, but then he gets overpowered and has to sneak into the bushes.
Yes.
They go inside to attack past Van Damme,
Yes.
which happens, and then the wife has a smart idea to climb onto the roof.
Yeah, well, to get away from them all.
Yeah, it's smart. Yeah.
It's not a great plan, as it turns out.
No. Also, just by the way, and this really annoyed me, this entire end sequence, it's impossible to see what's going on.
Yeah, outside of the house with the lights on and everything, it's impossible to... And I think that's a genuine criticism of the whole
It was
nighttime.
so dark.
They have a fight scene on the roof where the wife nearly falls off, but Van Damme catches her.
Past Van Damme, yeah.
Yeah, past Van Damme catches her. Very important, past Van Damme. And then it's hanging on, and the bad guy's like stomping on his hand. He's like, ha ha ha.
He's like, I've got a quote from the bad guy, I think. He says, "You have nothing soft to land on, do you?" Because
Well, he could land on his
they're
wife.
about to fall off.
I don't mean to criticize the bad guy, but he could land on his wife, you know? Crush his wife. He would live. Just saying. It'd be very tragic, but that would be a soft landing. Bad guy. Dummy.
But future Van Damme saves them both from the shadows.
By shooting the bad guy. The bad guy's like,
Senator McComb rocks up and just somehow has the wife as hostage and also
Yep.
plants a bomb in their house.
yes. And it's like, now I'm going to blow us up. Your wife, you, and me. But past me will still be able to win the future election. So it's over.
It starts a new timeline. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That works out. Yep,
Which
that makes
is,
sense.
yes.
Yeah.
It's a little confusing, but it sort of makes sense.
It makes sense in the rules that they've already set up.
Yeah.
for
They're
time travel in
weird
this
time
world.
travel rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's revealed that past Senator is actually in the house, and he rocks up, and the future one is like, "What the hell are you doing here, idiot? We're all gonna blow up and die." And he's like, "You called me here, didn't you?" And Van Damme is like, "Nah, I called him here." Ha ha.
Future Van Damme is like, did you know that two people cannot past self and future self cannot touch or else they will explode.
Yep.
And so he pushes past Senator into future Senator.
Yep.
And we get the best effect we have seen
this
of the
was
year
great.
so far.
You even agree that this was
This
great.
was pretty funny.
Where they sort of like merged into this red mass of flesh that sort of blobs into this blob thing and then just sort of dissipates into the floor, which was like...
It was gross and yuck, and it looked
horrifying.
so fake.
Yeah.
But,
it looked very fake, but it was great. It was great.
If you look up the scene on YouTube, I'm sure it's there. I'm sure this scene has
look
so
it
many
up
watches.
because it's great.
It's pretty funny. And then he leaves and goes back to 2004, and turns out the
Everything's
Senator
fine.
never even existed.
Well, he did exist and then mysteriously disappeared one day.
In 94.
Yep.
And the people are alive, then goes back home, and he's got a kid, and the it's really bad acting.
Yes, you didn't
And
like
I hated it, and the film ends.
Yay! And I really enjoyed this film. I know you didn't. You had a bad time with
I
it.
really hated this.
But I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
Look, I thoroughly hated this movie.
Yep.
But talking about it, I can see why you'd like it.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to rate it purely based on how I felt watching it,
Sure.
it's a Vincent deceased movie.
Wow, Vince's deceased
I
award.
was so bored for all of this. But because I know you're not going to agree with that,
No,
it's
not
an
at all.
oldie from me.
No, I'm giving this a goodie.
What?
Bam.
No!
I'm giving this a
Oh,
goodie.
it's Cabin
because-
Boy all over again.
Yeah, well, no. I disagree. This was way better than Cabin Boy.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't watched Cabin Boy again way before I watched this again.
Yeah, because you've forgotten what Cabin
I have
Boy-
forgotten a lot of what
Yeah,
Cabin Boy
yeah, exactly.
was. Yeah, that was 9 months
I
ago.
love this film. I thought it was great. This is one of those so bad it's fantastic films for me.
I was just bored. I was just really bored.
Yeah, I guess.
don't know. Maybe if it's with friends?
Yeah, this is definitely something
Yeah.
I'd like to watch with friends
If we
while
watched
drinking.
it, because like we
and
used to
laughing.
watch some of every now and then we will watch one of these.
The film together, and I
together.
feel like this would have been a much better one to do together.
I feel like I would have been
Yeah.
slightly more positive if we watched this together.
Oh yeah, and for sure, with my eggings on during the film, you would have had a more positive.
But because it was just me and my cat,
yeah, you're like,
who
nah.
was every time
Nah.
a gun was fired, she woke up. It was like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, because they were like laser guns. They were
Yeah.
pew, pew, pew.
That's funny. Anyway, it's an oldie from me and a goodie from you.
Goodie from me.
So
I love
there
this
we
film.
go.
It was great.
There is an actual sequel, but we'll get to that after we pitch our own.
Uh,
I don't really know what I want
There's a
mine
lot.
to be.
there's a lot that could be here. Time travel is a possibility.
I think I want one actually set entirely in the past.
Really?
Van Damme has to go back to the Victorian era
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
and stop a time heist sort of stuff.
Ooh, that could be
Very
interesting.
similar to the guy at the very start of the film, just like a gangster, just like robbing people.
Yep.
And he's got to go back to the Victorian era to try and stop things.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's just actually set in the past. Just a
That's
lot
cool,
of
that's cool.
gunfights. He just kicks people,
Yeah.
and it's probably not any better than this, but
Ah,
it's fun.
but you're not thinking big enough, son.
Okay.
You're not thinking grand enough. You see, in the future of 2010,
It's funny because we're in 2019.
I know, right? Wow. It's been 6 years since this incident, and Van Damme's living his life normally when a tyrannical dictator releases dinosaurs onto the world.
Oh,
An army
yes.
of dinosaurs
Of
to
course.
take over the US. And the only way to stop the dinosaurs is to go back to Jurassic time, where Van Damme has to punch and kick dinosaur and raptors that have super technology that makes them smart and literate.
See, like, that's the sort of thing
See?
that I would enjoy.
Yes,
That
you
is
weren't
fun.
thinking big
That
enough.
is fun.
Yeah. To stop this evil dictator from taking dinosaurs from the past to the future to take over New York.
That's ridiculous, but
Yes.
that would be very fun.
Yeah.
Does he like he has to like kick raptors and stuff?
Yeah. He
And
punches
so
raptors.
How does
Like,
he
there's
fight a T-Rex? Does he get a mech suit that he kicks with?
No. That would be ridiculous. Something. No, instead the T-Rex like does the whole thing where it like eats him, but then like has the closed mouth, and then Van Damme like pushes open the T-Rex
Sharknado.
mouth. Yeah, exactly. And then like jumps out as it snaps shut behind
Or
him.
how about no, he kills the T-Rex from the inside and then cuts out of the belly.
No, that's dumb. That's very dumb. That's a Sharknado. That's dumb.
That is Sharknado. Man, I love Sharknado.
No, but there is a point where I think they're about to teleport to the future. The T-Rex tries to stop them, and they slam into the T-Rex as they go into the future, and the T-Rex explodes violently
Amazing.
as they teleport into the future.
That's fun.
And they teleport into the future covered in T-Rex gore,
Okay.
which is
That's
great.
fun. That's very fun.
And that is my sequel.
Is someone a cyborg? There's got to be a cyborg.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, good.
the dinosaurs are part cyborgs.
Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, and the bad guy.
Perfect.
He's a cyborg genius. That's why he can make the dinosaurs part cyborg, so they're, like, intelligent.
Well.
And they can speak.
Do you want to know what they actually did for a sequel?
It's probably way lamer than what I just said.
Yeah, in 2003, there was a direct-to-VHS movie
Woof.
called Timecop 2: The Berlin Decision.
Ooh, what's that about?
It's the same thing. It's just like, hey, I'm someone from the future, and I gotta go back in time to save stuff that happens in Berlin.
Wow.
But they got an Asian lead, so that's cool.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, entirely different cast. Takes place 20 years after the first one, so 2024.
Yeah.
But it is written by Gary Scott Thompson,
Ooh.
the man who wrote the first Fast and Furious movie.
Nice. The man who started the legend.
The legend.
How much did...
It was direct to DVD, so it didn't get a box office.
No, but did it get a Rotten Tomatoes?
Timecop 2. Let's have a look. Timecop 2. No.
No, it doesn't have a Rotten Tomatoes. Wow.
Alright, then. That is the episode.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you so much for listening. We do really appreciate it, even though the films are, well, tough on me.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. It was great. I really enjoyed Timecop. I mean, you obviously didn't. Hey, maybe next week we'll get a better film.
But yeah, if you enjoyed the show, telling a friend really helps out. That's the main way that
Please
we get some new
Go
ears.
into your iTunes, leave a review,
That
tell us how much you want Van Damme versus T-Rex.
And also, if you ever want to pitch your own sequel to any film that we've done, go ahead and send it in. That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah,
Like, we go through some listener suggested sequels. Can be a sequel to anything we've covered. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah. That'd be a good idea.
You can message that on our Instagrams or to our Facebook page, or email it to oldiebuttergoodiepod@gmail.com. Links to all that are in the description. Just head there and you'll find it. Zach, you are picking what we're doing next week.
Okay.
We have two choices.
Okay. 50-50.
Yeah. One of them is called Terminal Velocity.
Ooh.
Charlie Sheen from 2.5 Men
Ooh.
is all about that skydiving.
Oh.
And he's also an action hero.
Oh.
That's right. It's an action comedy about skydiving.
There's mixed emotions
I think he works for the military.
Great.
So it's basically one of your pitches.
Great.
So there we go.
Should be terrible.
Choice number 2, The Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, tell me about this one. I have not heard of this Shank Shaw Redemption.
It's just a little known film about Tim Robbins from Hudsucker Proxy and Morgan Freeman from just a bunch of films, really. They're in prison. Morgan Freeman. You may know him as God. Oh, wait, that hasn't come out.
Oh, right. Yes, God. Yes,
yeah.
sorry. No. God. Now I remember him from Bruce Almighty, yes. Because I know every Jim Carrey film.
So they got to escape from prison, Shawshank Prison, which is a real mean prison, and it's based off a short story by Stephen King.
Yes, I'm definitely going with Terminal Velocity. That one sounds
garbage.
No, I'm kidding. We got to do Shawshank Redemption.
Have you seen it before?
I don't know if I have. I can't remember at the moment. I think I did when I was like 10 maybe.
That's a tough film to watch when you're 10.
Or like 12
Oh, boy.
or something.
Yeah.
13 and I'm like, I'm a real man now. I can
Yeah.
watch the big boy films.
I've been on a bit of a Stephen King marathon. Just like reading quite a few of his books this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I might check out the Shawshank short story.
Excellent.
That could be fun.
Well,
Anyway, next week, Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank Redemption,
Join
little
us
known
and have
film
fun.
that no one really knows about.
No. It's a tiny movie.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
Alright,
excited.
awesome. Let's do it. And let's wrap up the podcast with our favorite quote from the movie.
You go first. You go first. I think I wanna finish this one with my favorite quote.
Well, my favorite is when Van Damme walks up to McComb and says, "Freeze!" And he says, "Agent Walker, do you know how inappropriate that word is? Do I look frozen to you?"
And
And Van Damme goes, "No, you don't look frozen. You look like crap to me." Yeah.
a great line.
So good.
And I think this sums up the movie perfectly. Are we gonna blast the past? Yeah!
Alright, good, we're done.
I'm not saying anything else. That's it.